Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sandra Steingraber, and I live with my family across the lake in Trumansburg. 16 We Are Seneca Lake protesters will face charges tonight, some at 5 o'clock and some at 7 p.m., for peaceful acts of civil disobedience in the form of trespassing at the gates of Crestwood. I am one of them, and it is likely that I will not be returning home tonight. We Are Seneca Lake is a campaign that was born on October 23rd. That's the date of our first blockade, after we learned that approval had been granted by the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission to expand the storage of methane in crumbling salt caverns that underlie the west bank of Seneca Lake. In granting this approval, the federal government swept aside demonstrable evidence for reckless risks, including methane leakage, salt cavern collapse, and salination of our lake. These are all problems that have vexed other gas storage facilities similarly created from unlined, interbedded salt caverns. From Kansas to Louisiana, salt cavern storage of gas has brought death, water contamination, and economic ruin to communities. That's what we are standing against with our active civil disobedience. The We Are Seneca Lake campaign is ongoing. 10 people were arrested on Monday, another 8 yesterday, and 12 brave protesters ended a 7-hour-long blockade with 9 arrests today at Crestwood's 2 driveway on Route 14, successfully halting truck deliveries into those entrances for an entire working day. And the 9 arrestees today include some bold-faced names known to many in the Finger Lakes community, and here is a roll call, and I'm including the 3 who had to leave before the handcuffs came out because they were too cold to stay. They're all heroes today. Save your applause to the end. Will Oline, owner of Eagle Crest and Oneida Vineyards. Phil Davis, grape grower and owner of Damiani Wine Cellars. Peggy Aker, Trumansburg, owner of Mackerel Mama. Stephen Senders, Hector, baker and owner, Wide Awake Bakery. Anna Redmond, Trumansburg, owner, Regional Access. Julia Udakoni, Cayutaville, owner, Swamp Road Baskets. Jessica Thorpe, Hector, owner, Glen Martin Mountain Market. Asia Redmond, Ithaca Regional Access, also a drummer with the Sim Redmond Band. Scott Signori, Hector, executive chef and owner, Stone Cat Cafe. Chris Tate, musician, Hector. And these 10 were joined by PhD researchers John Dennis of Lansing and Chuck Geisler of Ithaca. So now, I'm going to turn that list of names into a direct address. Memo to the CEO of Crestwood Midstream and all of your investors, the people of Schuyler County and the Greater Finger Lakes who make wine, bread, baskets, music, science, and food distribution systems are now standing in united opposition to your dangerous plan to turn our community into a gas station for fracking. A few days ago, the Schuyler County Sheriff raised important concerns about safety, public health, and county resources. We welcome that conversation, and we want to address his concerns directly. In a Facebook post, Sheriff Yesman noticed that his cars and deputies had been sent to arrest an earlier group of protesters standing in Crestwood's driveway when a call arrived to 911 about a heart attack. According to the sheriff, that victim could not receive a response from an EMT-trained deputy or the patrol car that was equipped with a defibrillator because those had been dispatched to us. We agree with Sheriff Yesman that this triage decision was the wrong one. 911 calls should always come first. But we did not make that decision, nor were we the ones who summoned the deputies. Crestwood did that. To be very clear, we assure the sheriff that we wish to remain on the very bottom rung of his law enforcement priorities. We are happy to blockade all day as we did today. That's why we are peaceful, nonviolent, respectful, disciplined, and we seek to create no emergency or dangerous situation for anyone. And as for the tragic heart attack of one of our neighbors,
is he all right?
The sheriff's obligation is to protect the public safety, and he's under no obligation to prioritize Crestwood over a medical emergency of one of our neighbors. Out of this experience, we have some questions of our own, and the first one is this. If the sheriff's resources are truly stretched so thin that first responders cannot deal with a heart attack and a group of peaceful protesters at the same time, How will he deal with a fire, explosion, collapse, a tanker truck collision, or otherwise catastrophic accident in a pressurized salt cavern full of explosive gases? Crestwood itself admits to the SEC that such accidents are among the many risks for which they are not fully insured. Second, why are the Schuyler County deputies being turned into a private security force for Houston-based Crestwood at taxpayer expense when generations of residents are endangered by Crestwood's plans to bring explosive gases into our community and bury it by a source of drinking water for 100,000 people? Who is our law enforcement protecting, and who will come for the lawbreakers inside the fence? The sheriff also raised concerns in a later television interview that protesters are consuming scarce county resources and draining his budget by tying up the courts, pleading guilty, and choosing jail sentences. We understand that this is a problem, and here are the solutions we offer. First, the one big reason for the clogging up of the town of Reading court I'm missing a page of notes, is that one of its judges, John D. Norman, works for Crestwood and had to recuse himself due to conflict of interest. Rather than reschedule future protesters who have been sent to him, as has been requested by us, Judge Norman has insisted those protesters appear before him, even though presumably he will then send them to his counterpart, Judge Berry, in a later arraignment. This is clearly a waste of taxpayer money. Sheriff Yesman, please take up your concerns with Judge Norman. As for jail time, the sheriff has pointed out that it costs $85 to house a male inmate in Schuyler County Jail and more for females who must be remanded to jails out of the county. Here is my proposed solution. Stop giving us maximum sentences, 15 days, for the violation of simple trespass. Sheriff, please take this issue up with your district attorney. I would be happy not to find out what they serve on Thanksgiving to prisoners in jail. So would my children. So would all the taxpayers of Schuyler County. I can afford my own Thanksgiving dinner. I don't need to do it on the expense of Schuyler County taxpayers. So out of sensitivity to all of us, I will thus be asking tonight Judge Berry to commute my sentence. But if Judge Berry does sentence me to the maximum time in jail, I will gladly serve that time. Because unlike Crestwood Midstream, I have respect for the law. Unlike Crestwood Midstream, who continues to salt our lake, exceeding its legal limits every single quarter of the year with these emissions, I do not believe that we should be able to break rules, blithely pay fines, and then go on breaking the rules. That's why I will be continuing my civil disobedience witness in jail if I am ordered thus. But if I and other defendants tonight and on the many Wednesday nights ahead continue to receive the maximum jail time for trespassing, Sheriff Yesman, please keep in mind that we did not sentence ourselves. And know this, we are young mothers and great-grandmothers and business leaders. We are your neighbors, the makers of your favorite wine, the drummers in your favorite roots rock band, and we are fighting for water. We are fighting for life itself. We will not give up, not in jail, not in the rain, not in the snow. You cannot freeze us out, starve us out, or arrest us out, because we are...